The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Welcome to the podcast on Tuesday, the 11th of May 2021. On the podcast today, Alan Green, CEO of Brand and Communications, talks about Coinsilium, CVS Group, and British Honey Company. Also on the podcast, Glen Goodman, former ITV News Business correspondent, now the author of The Crypto Trader, covers Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Bitcoin. And we also talk about the crypto market. We argue valuations and stuff like that. At the moment, I'm quite bearish on the crypto market. I think that, of course, technology has future, but the valuations, in my mind, are a bit crazy, you know. Also on the podcast, as always, two lists for you. The top 5 most followed companies on Vox Markets in the last 24 hours, and the top 5 most read RNSs too. You can see both these lists at voxmarkets.co.uk, where you'll also see lots of other content. In fact, let's have a look through that content right now. Here's a quick taster of it. Infrastrata. There's an article there on those. There's an article on Revolution Bars, Chromet Group, Glantis begins trading on the AIM market. Lots of stuff there. COVID-19 index is on the front page as well. The biggest rise of the day is, it's a bit of a sell-off day. You can tell it is. The biggest rise there is only up 1.29%, when normally it could be double digits there. And that's N4 Pharma at 7.8 pence. And biggest faller, Symphony Environmental. It's down 6.25% at 18.75. Check that out at voxmarkets.co.uk.
Vox Markets is an online community of investors that runs a free mobile and desktop platform that allows you to track news and updates about any UK-listed company, offering RNS push notifications, detailed charts, pricing data, and much more. Find out more at voxmarkets.co.uk/app.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Alan Green, CEO of Brand and Communications. Al.
Morning, Just. Very good. How are you, sir?
All right, yeah. What did you get to? We didn't speak last week because it was a bank holiday, wasn't it? That's right, yeah.
It was a bank holiday, yeah. Had just a nice chill time, really, and several nice pub meals. Just went for a pint on Sunday, nice pint of pale ale. But it was still very cold, wasn't it? It was still very cold. So
what's
so
happening? Arctic winds, I think, isn't it? Arctic winds is annoying, isn't they? It's just.
It's. I mean, thankfully, it seems to have warmed up today. Although the sun went in earlier, so it got a bit cooler. But I actually walked out in the garden this morning, and it was actually warm. You know, I was in a t-shirt and jeans for the first time in goodness knows how long. So
normally you're naked, aren't you?
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, this time of year I'd be strutting around the garden naked, and getting cat calls from the neighbours over the fence. But no, not today.
Let's be honest. She's partially blind. And she's 89, so that lady is doing that. So. You know.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, both sides that the combined age.
On one side, the 89-year-old lady with bad eyesight. On the other side, Derek, he's older with even worse eyesight. He goes, "Right, Alan, hey!"
Exactly. All right. You got any clothes on, boy? No, not this morning.
Okay. So you were at the pubs. Did you have a pub meals? You said you had there.
Yeah, it was great. It was the thing is, around our way we've got some great country pubs, and also there are some great artisan breweries that do really good ales. And it was just lovely to go and sit in a pub and just enjoy a really good draft pint. You know, because of course we, you're drinking from home.
How many do you drink normally, Al? When you're drinking?
Oh, if I go for lunch, well, obviously, you know, we're driving and I'm normally driving, so it'll be 2 pints max with a meal. So, and that's spread over a couple of hours. But
So you're not driving then. What do you do?
Well, if I'm not driving, I probably maybe have. But the things I normally do. So I mean, that's really it. But if I met a colleague in Brighton last week, and we sat on the seafront there and had lunch and a few beers and caught up, and probably over an afternoon, I maybe had 4 pints, 5 pints.
4 pints? Is that all, Al?
Yeah. I'm not a heavy drinker, mate.
I think I was a heavy drinker.
So how many pints would you have, Jess?
Well, 25, something else, 30.
No, I think it depends how long you're there, and the thing is, a little later on in the afternoon, it's the pints go down really easily, don't they? So, I think it was 5. I think actually it was 5 because got there at 1 half 12, 1 o'clock, and left there at about 5 o'clock, half 5. So yeah.
Cool, marvelous. Okay, well let's. Drink sensibly, everyone. Unless you don't want to, of course. That's up to you. As long as you're above the age of consent and 18, you can do what you want as long as you don't bother other people. I think. Marvelous.
I'm looking forward. Next week, I'm going to London for the first time in over a year. I think because I haven't been up. So going to meet some colleagues up in town. So
they've moved it. They've moved London now.
It's moved, has it? Okay. So it'll take longer on the train to get there, will it?
While it's so quiet, they move it to the countryside. Easier because where it is just very busy, And so while it's quiet because of COVID, just move it. Better air conditions, quality, and all that stuff. Yeah. So it takes a bit longer, but it's worth it, I think. I'm in fact, hopefully after lockdown, of course, Monday lockdown is ending, or sort of. Most of it is. And so I got some mates coming down, and we're going out for a nice pub meal, a few drinks, and all that stuff. And in fact, we normally do the weekend podcast live, so we'll do it on video, hopefully. But I'm looking forward to it. I think the market's had a bit of dodgy day today, but I think we'll start to rally a little bit, and in the right sectors. Are you in any recovery stocks, Al? Sector recovery stocks like leisure, retail, and that? Or?
Not at the moment. No. I'm just big on the miners and energy stocks because I think we're just going to have we're entering a commodity super cycle now, and we're going to see growth in the energy and mining stocks for the next for the next few years. So that's where I'm majored, as it were. But I think there are opportunities for recovery, but of course we've still got that risk that if there's a spike in cases, then we've got another potential lockdown. So it's quite uncertain at the moment. But actually, a lot of the prices have really come back strongly already. So I would question whether there's much more headroom in those stocks anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with the first stock. What's the first one off the cab rank, Al?
Okay, first off the rank, just want to update on Coinsilium this morning. So Coinsilium, of course, is the Gibraltar-based companies listed on Aquis, the Aquis Exchange, AQX, and the OTC QB venture market. Coinsilium currently has a market cap of 18.5 million. Shares are trading at a mid-price of 11.5p, and of course it's been as high as 34p on the year, and as low as 3.5p before. Of course, the explosion happened with the NFT market, which we've discussed on many occasions in the past. But I
don't understand the NFT though. Have you seen? So we were talking about this in the weekend podcast. Most of the artwork on these NFT things are rubbish, aren't they? They're 80s, cartoon gifts. I don't understand what they're about. I really don't get it. It's just a hype around nothing. They're selling for ridiculous amounts, and they're rubbish. I don't understand.
Yeah. I have to say, I look at some of this NFT stuff, and I just think, where is the value? But of course, I suppose it's like anything. It's a market that's right at the start, because so many assets can be turned into NFTs. Obviously, with Coinsilium, they've got they're launching the limited edition Gibraltar. Gibraltar postage stamp with an NFT counterpart, and these can shortly be ordered online. And with the NFT counterparts, you get them, or you can get the NFT tokens in various grades, all the way through to Mythic, where I think there are just 2 Mythic NFTs available. So there is value in tying them in with a physical counterpart too, and obviously Coinsilium have progressed this with the Gibraltar Post Office. But what they've also done, I think if you look at what Coinsilium do, that they are in the process of forming a number of partnerships in Gibraltar, and they are, in a sense, providing the picks and the shovels for the explosion in NFTs. So just as the old gold rush happened, the people that actually made the money in the gold rush were the people that sold the picks and shovels. So Coinsilium and its ventures are progressing a series of tools and resources to enable people to buy and sell NFTs and know what they're buying. And the first step along that road was the launch of Nifty Scanner. And if you go onto OpenSea now and you look at any of these NFTs, you will see that alongside each one there is a Nifty Scanner rating. And part of the issue, we said just now about looking at these 80s images and all the rest of it and trying to see value. Part of the issue NFTs is, how do you actually trace the value back? How can you prove you own it? So of course you can have that line of blockchain code, which is an immutable piece of code that says it's yours, but also what happens if the server that piece of art is stored on? What happens if that server goes down? Is there a backup? All those questions. So the Nifty Scanner looks at all this and it gives each NFT a rating, and it's a sliding scale. So it's anything from, I suppose, 5% up to 100%. So the higher the rating, the surer you can be when you buy that NFT that you can trace the ownership through all the way through. So that's the first step along the road into verification of NFT assets and all the rest of it. And this is where Nifty Scanner, the Nifty Scanner, will be a key part of it going forward. So today the company announced it's started development for RSK powered NFTs in the space, and of course this is for NFTs powered by or NFTs that people purchase or want to purchase using Bitcoin. And of course with Bitcoin you've got this difficulty in setting up smart contracts to make that transition, and this is what Coinsilium and the team there are doing. They're basically creating a platform to facilitate this. So rather than Ethereum, which is the source of all NFT purchases pretty well at the moment, it means that the mainstream cryptocurrency, which of course is Bitcoin, can be used to buy and sell NFTs. And when that happens, there's going to be huge explosion because a load more money is going to come into the marketplace. So it's a big step forward for Coinsilium, and there's a lot of excitement about the potential of this, and there will be a series of launches scheduled from the company during the course of the year, and I think it's a very exciting space to invest into, because Coinsilium are looking to be involved at some level in every single transaction that takes place in the NFT space. So if you imagine that, and what that could potentially lead to, it's a really exciting time for them.
Yeah, I've no idea. Sorry, Alan, why are you doing that? You mentioned OpenSea, and it got me transfixed then about finding this Kings of Leon. God.
well, you might not want to look at that, because I think, and again, this. I just heard this from a third party, so it might be completely inaccurate. But I was told that apparently somebody looked at the NFT or the NFT for the Kings of Leon album, and it scored about 30%. So in terms of verification, but again, I think that rather than being a source of concern in terms of its verification or anything else, I think that's just indicative of where NFTs are right now. We're right at the start of this enormous new opportunity to sell assets and create digital assets and realize value in them. And of course, it's great that you can do it, but there are so many other areas that need to be addressed. Of course, ownership, being proof of ownership is one of the key issues. And when you've got something that can tell you, the Nifty Scanner that can tell you, how in percentage terms, how easily you can verify your ownership of that NFT, that's a big step forward down this particular road.
Yeah, okay. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? I don't understand it, do you?
It is. I've spoken to, a lot of people I've spoken to just say, oh, it's nuts. It's crazy. How can you sort of prove it and verify it? But the fact is, we know already what some of the art in the space is sold for, and it's caused a great deal of excitement. And looking at just what's happening in the cryptocurrency space, all these new coins coming in, it's just a decentralized finance. It's just this burgeoning landscape, isn't it? This new finance opportunities, and of course new ways to digitize assets. And I mean, who knows? We've got NFTs. There could be something else in the pipeline, which will be another way to digitize assets. And I think like any gold rush, if you're in there early enough and you've got a little stake, then you might just find that you get lucky. But either way, it's an exciting place to have a punt in.
Yeah, what's the punt? Yeah, I'm just. I've talked about I've just recorded with Glen, crypto guy, and talking about Elon Musk and his behaviour on Twitter. It's insane, isn't it? Just ramping Dogecoin to like $70 billion valuation now, and I think, what the heck, are you nuts or what? And I think it's okay if Glenn said it's okay if it's going up, but if it comes down and starts crashing, and people start losing lots of money, I think he's going to create a lot of tension there by himself, SEC and all that stuff. So,
yeah, very much so. And also, of course, you've had the governor of the Bank of England publicly state to people that if you're invested in cryptocurrency, you could stand to lose all of your money. So clearly that's the Bank of England view, but I suppose a lot of people will say, well, of course you would say that because you're the central bank or you're representative of the central banking system that we're trying to avoid. So, there are different schools of thought on this, but I think you've got to go into it and use the old adage in the stock market: no one ever went pro taking profit. So, if you put your money in and you make a profit, then realize that profit somewhere along the line. Yeah. Or at least take your stake out. If you take out what you put in, and then you've got a free ride.
Yeah. Okay, marvellous stuff. Right, okay, what's next, Al?
Okay,
talk some sense now, because when you were talking there, I had no idea what you were talking about, to be honest.
Okay, cats and dogs. Okay. Cats and dogs. And
I'm obviously too old.
Budgerigars and guinea pigs and goodness knows what else. So we've spoken on several occasions about CVS Group. The EPIC code is CVSG, and look at the chart on this one. Over the past year, I mean, it's just top right hand corner stuff all the way. So this company is now, when we last spoke, I think it had a market cap of about 800 million. Now got a market cap of $1.5 billion, and the shares traded on a year low of £8.80 and a year high of £23.45. Currently at £21 a share, and it's just success all the way. We've all seen the explosion in pets during lockdown, pet ownership in lockdown. And of course, if you buy a pet, you've got to buy the bed, you've got to buy the food, you've got to have the veterinary treatment, you've got, all the rest of it. And it's a very expensive process. I mean, we have 2 Yorkshire Terriers, and I know how much they've had several operations, and we have insurance with Direct Line to cover the cost of those operations, and believe me, you need it. It's important, and those are just for small dogs. With larger dogs, we have a neighbour who's got a Newfie in Newfoundland, which is just enormous. It's like having a small pony trotting around the house, and the cost there, it just beggars belief. I think that one of the dogs they had previously, they spent up to $15,000 with the vets, and they hadn't got insurance. So they cost huge amounts of money. So
I think my dog's bills, recurring vet bills, and that insurance and all that stuff, is more than my life insurance.
Oh yeah, easily.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It is, but those are the costs, and then of course you're looking at the pedigree dogs now, and a member of our family is just about to buy a German Pointer puppy, and I mean you're looking at about £2,000 for a German Pointer puppy, which is and they're beautiful dogs. We've had 2 over the years, and they're wonderful animals, but it's an awful lot of money, and then that's just the start. You've got everything everything else on top of it. So, of course, off the back of that...
They're worth it, though. I mean, our dog gives us so much happiness.
Yeah.
Always happy, always pleasant.
You can't, it's a member of the family, and what wouldn't you spend on your kids, and what wouldn't you spend on your family, and that's it, So it's
I'd definitely sell the kids to pay for the dog's vet's bill. I've had to.
Yes. Send the kids out to work.
Yeah.
But so this is where companies like CVS Group, who are in the right space, have an opportunity to make huge amounts of money. And I mean, if we just look at the progress this year, so when we last spoke in February about the company, they put out a very strong set of interims. The interim results, full year EBITDA rose to 45 million from 37.5 million previously. Margins improved to 18.5% from 17% previously. And then borrowings, which were previously 97 million, fell to 44 million. 17% increase in new clients, like-for-like sales up 8%, and 4 new acquisitions. So, of course, what the company is doing, it's just buying up all of the private veterinary surgeries throughout the country and turning them into a huge group. And, of course, with that, you get the economies of scale, you get a very strong online presence, and it's just all of it's going through to the bottom line. We've just... during March, you had a non-exec director, Richard Gray, buy 3,000 shares at £18. And then in mid-April, the chairman, Richard Connell, bought 5,000 shares, also at £18. And most recently, we had a trading update from the group that said, current trading was strong, and the board was confident that this would continue for the current year. Full year revenues and EBITDA will be comfortably ahead of expectations. So this is just more of the same. And of course, we're just seeing the share price progress. And at the moment, the company doesn't pay a dividend. And I think it's great if your investors say a year ago you'd have doubled your money more than. So with that sort of capital growth, that's fine. But I think at some stage, with a market cap of $1.5 billion, the company's got to look to pay a dividend. So I expect we'll hear more about this as we go forward. But nonetheless, the trend is your friend. Pets are increasingly popular, and there's no sign of this slowing down.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, there's lots more dogs being walked around where we are, definitely. Cool. Anything else, Al?
Yeah, we've also spoken about this. This is another Aquis company, and I think Aquis should take some accolades. Actually, they're really making efforts to improve the liquidity of the companies on their exchange, and they're getting out there, and more and more brokers are making Aquis stocks available to their clients, which is always a good thing. So, British Honey Company is another Aquis stock. The stock has barely moved really over the past year, but they've undertaken an awful lot of growth during that time. So the company owns the Keeper Spirits brands, which are of course sold through Waitrose, Majestic, Amazon, and so on. And they have an HMRC compliant bonded warehouse and a very strong IT setup to facilitate online sales. And indeed, in the latest trading update right at the end of April, the company announced that online sales had grown by 22%. But they've undertaken a huge acquisition. They bought Uni Distillers for 8 million sterling with a 2 million earn-out, and of course they raised 4.5 million in a placing at 110 pence to complete that. And the board invested 200,000 of their own money into that too. So that's obviously they're very much engaged with the process. The board have been all the way through, and the company also has interest in the US with the List Distillery in Florida, which they acquired through a share swap. They also have the products are available through English Heritage outlets, and obviously English Heritage has suffered over the past year with COVID. But as these open up the public, then of course British Honey products will be available through these outlets. They also have their own distillery on the Tusmore Park estate in Oxfordshire, and again,
sorry, what's the ticker here? Sorry.
Ticker is BHC. Sorry, BHC.
Oh yeah, British Honey. Okay.
Yep. Yes, so shares are traded as high as 122 on the year, and well, really, when they raised the money at 110p, which was a slight discount, we've seen the shares sort of as low as 116. So not really a great deal of movement, but I just think this company is really well placed for growth. With COVID's coming to an end, we were saying earlier, weren't we, just all these outlets are opening back up again, so this company could really provide an opportunity for growth in that regard. They also hired a fellow called Matt Fletcher, who formerly House of Fraser and Holland and Barrett, and was previously head of Mid Counties Co-op. He's just been joined the company into a newly formed Chief Ops Officer role following the acquisition of Union Distillers. Also of note, major shareholders include Octopus. Octopus increased their stake from 10% to 11.5% during March, and Unicorn Fund Management increased their stake from 9.5% to 16.5% in March also. So that's a pretty good sign when you've got two major funds owning what is still a fairly small microcap Aquis listed stock. Market cap currently 19 million. In the trading update at the end of April, the company announced sales have risen 26% to 1.3 million. We already know, as I said, online sales grew 22%, and the company have a combined forward book at the moment of 4 million. And the group said that with COVID easing, they were very well placed, both commercially and financially, to drive further growth. So this could be a really good stock to get into right now. And really the share price hasn't reflected, I don't think, the potential within the Union Distillers acquisition or the potential increase in sales with the lockdown being lifted.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I can't see on the chart or anything. Okay, it's not been. I can't. I searched on TradingView. It's not there. So.
If you go to the Aquis, it's aquis.eu. That's the website, and look for BHC there. You actually see a chart for the year there. But I mean, there's not been a great deal of price action. I say we hit the high of 122p in February last year. So there is no premium at all in the price for this Union Distillers acquisition, which has hugely increased the company. The company also well funded from the placing as well, and the fundraise in February. So the best place to go is the Aquis.eu website, where you get all the prices and all the information about the company. But I think this is a real opportunity because the share price hasn't moved.
Right. Do you, Al? It's a real opportunity because the share price hasn't moved.
yeah, that's right. But you look at what's happening within the group. Yeah. There are the fundamental growth drivers are right here. What's been holding it back is COVID, so there's everything, there's every reason, and that could also, I think the fact that Octopus and Unicorn Fund Management have both increased their stakes during March, that's a pretty solid sign.
No, they are sort of sharp guys there, so they know what they're about. Sometimes just follow the money there. Marvellous. Cheers. Are you a fan of honey, Al?
I do like honey, I like honey a lot. It's really good, but of course, British Honey Company is probably a misleading name for the group because they don't
trading honey at all.
Well, they do, yeah. They're leading independent honey producer in the UK. They produce 6 million tonnes per annum, so they do that. But there's so much other stuff, and of course they moved into spirits, and a lot of the keeper spirit brands are infused with honey. So that's it's a unique flavour.
It's not misleading really then, because it's honey based, isn't it?
It's honey based, yeah. That's it. They are the largest independent honey supplier in the UK, but they're certainly diversifying now. And so I think the group at some stage might look at what they do, and because with their sales coming from the drinks, a lot of which aren't infused with honey, then it's a different ball game, as it were, isn't it? So yeah.
Yes, it's a different ball game. It's not even a ball game really. Cool, marvelous stuff. Al,
no ball game there.
I know I have honey every day on my cereal, every day. And
it's a lovely thing, and especially when it comes straight from the bee. When you get fresh honey on a farm, that's fantastic. Love that.
I don't know if the bees, appreciate it really, because we do all the work. We just steal the honey. It's the
everyone should grow bee
bees.
friendly. Yeah,
grow a bee tree.
Yeah, grow bee friendly flowers in your garden. That's the most important thing.
In fact, don't cut
so
your
they
grass.
can pollinate.
Yeah. Marvellous stuff. Cheers, Al. We'll speak you next week.
Cheers, Justin. Speak this week.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Glen Goodman, the author of The Dirty Trader. Sorry, the Crypto Trader. I misread that then. So I wasn't looking at it. I was just in my head thinking, same thing. Do you know what's annoying me? What is market manipulation? Is it illegal? Is that...
I don't even know anymore. I look at Elon Musk and what he's been up to and hosting Saturday Night Live and going on and on about Dogecoin in sketch after sketch, and I just kind of ask, does it even exist anymore, market manipulation? Or clearly the authorities in the United States seem to only define it as something that applies to poorer people or smaller companies. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, because I just saw a tweet earlier on, and for some reason it came up in my feed there, and it was Elon Musk saying, should Tesla, or can you be a survey, and saying, should you be able to buy basically Tesla with Dogecoin, which we know is a joke. Dogecoin, it started out as a joke. It is a joke. Do you want Tesla to accept Dogecoin? 71.1% said yes, 22.9% said no. If you read through, some of the people say, you made me poor. Other people say, it's great. I just find this... Why is the SEC silent about this? I don't understand. It's market manipulation, isn't it? That's what it is.
Well, I mean, the most worrying thing about Dogecoin, I think, is that it's marketed by... sort of Musk supporters as the people's cryptocurrency, right? That it's taken over from Bitcoin as the true crypto of the people. As opposed, because Bitcoin is becoming less cool now because the banks are all interested in it, and the American banks, for example, announced in the past week that a big consortium of them are planning to sort of bring in systems where they'll be able to offer Bitcoin to their clients as an investment. So it's becoming a lot more mainstream now as a speculative tool, basically Bitcoin. Whereas Dogecoin, Musk is constantly trying to promote it as the cryptocurrency of the people type of feel about it, because it's a joke, it's meme based, all the rest of it. So it's all for the people. A couple of problems with this. First of all, he's one of the richest people in the world, so he can hardly talk about things being for the people as opposed to for the plutocrats. But also, more importantly, Dogecoin is heavily concentrated in the hands of just a few people. I don't know whether Elon Musk is one of those people, but the fact remains that of its unbelievably almost $100 billion market cap, $100 billion this meme coin is almost worth. I think last time I looked, it was around about 80 billion. It fluctuates around 80, 90, sometimes as far down as 70, because of course the price moves erratically and crazily. The vast majority of it is in the hands of just a small number of people. And for the most part, we don't know who those people are.
Yeah. But...
So how's that for the people?
Yeah, I don't understand. It's not, is it? It's just a lot of idiots following Elon Musk.
It's basically a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah,
it's not Elon Musk's Ponzi scheme. And what's more, it wasn't even invented as a Ponzi scheme. As you say, it was invented as a joke by a couple of very reputable computer programmers, just a couple of random guys, effectively. They just did they basically took Bitcoin and sort of put a few tweaks onto Bitcoin, changed it a bit, the original code, cut and pasted some of the code, as people do with a lot of altcoins, are just basically cut and pasted and tweaked versions of Bitcoin. Dogecoin was no different in that respect. It's lasted about 7 years now, so it has a certain amount of longevity. The people who created it kind of think it's absolutely ridiculous that it's done what it's done, and now we're at a point where, as I say, most of it is in the hands of just a handful of people, not the people that created it, incidentally. So it's become a Ponzi scheme, even though it started off as a type of Bitcoin type coin. It's now, because it's in the hands of so few people, effectively all the wealth sort of flows to them. And the more the ordinary people buy it, the better it is for those extremely rich people. And when the price crashes, as it did actually when Elon Musk appeared on Saturday Night Live, the price fell very, very heavily. It's since recovered a bit. When it falls very, very heavily like that, who are the people who lose? Undoubtedly the small people, because that's how these Ponzi scheme type coins or investments always work. It's the same in the AIM market. For many of your listeners, they'll know how it works because they've seen pump and dumps going on constantly in small stocks in the AIM market. I'm not sure we've ever seen it in anything as large as this. I guess silver and gold have been manipulated. Historically, there was a big silver corner in 1980, sort of similar kind of situation, I suppose you could say, in some ways, but very different in other respects. I don't know. I find it all a bit exasperating, to be honest. Did you watch any of Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live, by the way?
No. Did you?
Yeah, I've watched some, and it's kind of, I can see why the price fell so heavily, because it's such an anticlimax when you actually see the guy in real life trying to be funny, as opposed to just putting out the odd witty tweet. Puts out his odd witty tweet and 200,000 people like it and clap like seals because he's so hilarious with his bon mot, his memeing, and you can never tell whether he's serious or joking. And then you see him on Saturday Night Live, and he's just a not very funny bloke being not very funny and sketch after sketch, dressing up as a cowboy, dressing up as Mario from Super Mario Brothers, trying to do an Italian accent, just stuff like that. It's just cringeworthy, to be honest.
Yeah, as I was saying, it was a bit cringe. I saw clips of it, and he did come across like a bit of a nerd trying to be funny, and he almost didn't look comfortable doing it. He's out of his comfort zone, and I suppose he's a nerd. Hiding behind tweets. It's amazing. Do you know what? Never underestimate the power or the sadness of the herd mentality. It's just follow whatever he does, worship down at his feet. Yes, he's super rich, he's amazing. He's not. He's just trying to ramp a dodgy, scammy coin.
This is the thing, is that we don't know whether he's ramping it for his own benefit or not, because this is always the thing. He always keeps it vague about. That's how his humor is created, is by this kind of constant vagueness about whether he's serious or not. And in fact, he actually has put out a few warnings in the last week or so, probably based on what his lawyers told him to say, I imagine. He's put out a few warnings about Dogecoin, saying, don't put your life savings in Dogecoin, that kind of thing. So he's done a few serious warnings that he intersperses with all the silliness.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I thought if regulation is going to happen, it's going to happen because of people like him.
Yeah, I know, and it's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying if he's ruining the kind of the crypto space. Effectively, he's messing it up. Because you get some people. Honestly, if as we've seen, with other things going wrong, like GameStop, there's been a guy there. Didn't he commit suicide over what he thought was too much? If that happens, and you get some senators or looking into this, they'll say this can't be happening. You can't get a guy on social media, with so much power there, who's so rich, just ramping a dodgy asset. Well, it's not even an asset, really, a joke. And people losing money. Exactly, but they're not losing money yet, or not huge amounts, because it hasn't absolutely dumped in a major way. I mean, after he was on Saturday Night Live, the price fell from about 75 cents to about 45, or lower, about 43 cents. So, it practically halved in value over the course of a couple of days. But that's nothing, even. There's a lot further down to go. When I look at the price, it still looks like it's in an uptrend, and that was just a correction in the Dogecoin uptrend. So it might even have further upside. And this is why the authorities don't get involved, because as we know, authorities only ever get involved after all hell has broken loose and tons of ordinary people have lost all their life savings and they're all complaining to the SEC, and then you get an investigation, and then, as you say, you'll get regulation which will negatively affect the development of some really, really clever cryptocurrencies that will change the world, or would have the potential to change the world if they weren't too heavily regulated and suffocated. But because Dogecoin will undoubtedly eventually crash and burn in a horrible way, and tons of people people will lose their money. It's your worry is very justified. We'll probably end up with unnecessary regulation for the whole sector just because of one rogue coin and one rogue plutocrat like Musk. Oh, I'm annoyed.
He's a bit. I don't know. I mean, obviously, didn't he reveal he's got Asperger's? Yeah,
on the show, right at the beginning, he said, "I'm the first person to host the show with Asperger's." He calls it Asperger's. Is it Asperger's or Asperger's? Is it an American-British pronunciation thing? He says Asperger's.
Yeah, Asperger's. Yeah, Asperger's.
Exactly. Asperger's is a much better. It works better. Yeah. But anyway, so he. So he was. I guess he was putting up front and straight. I've got Asperger's. So I don't know if he was trying to
defend his actions, maybe.
I don't know.
Defend them, but justify them in some way. So I think in extremes and not very controlled, maybe. But he's done okay out of it. So he's the most successful person with Asperger's in the world. So well done him. Yeah, it's hardly held him back, is it? So anyway, let's go. So last night, all of a sudden, I don't know what happened there. I got some alerts on my phone saying I'm on an app that alerts me when big things roll over, and crypto started rolling over last night. Down 10%. It's down 10%. That's down 10%. I thought, what's going on there? And for no reason, at 10 o'clock at night, what anything happened or what? It was just...
Not really. If you look at the chart now, you'll see that it actually, even though it felt, I was awake at the time, it felt pretty horrendous at the time. It felt like, oh my Lord, look what's happening. But then when you look at the chart now, look at an hourly chart or a 4-hourly chart or a daily chart, and it looks like nothing but a blip. It looks like tiny, basically. It affected Ethereum quite seriously for a minute there, but Bitcoin not so much.
I still think it's rolling over. Do you? It's going to take time because there's a lot of momentum behind it, but it will take its time. I can see this downward still. Every higher lows, or lower highs, sorry, on the RSI, and it's slowly rolling over. It's almost like a head and shoulders, isn't it? Formation at the top there.
It's got a bit of that about it, but at the same
right
time...
the right shoulder being lower than the left shoulder, which is not a good thing. And of course, just literally, again, a higher low there. If you look, it's never had this formation going up. It's for pullbacks and rallied again, pullbacks and rallied again. But this one, it's taken a while. And whether it just flattens out and goes up again, who knows? But it seems to be taking a while to consolidate. It seems to be rolling over rather than just having a rest. Like previously, I thought it was going to rally. When it went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And then on 26th of April, it had a big up day. It had about 10% up. I thought, oh, there we go. It's going to rally again now. It's done that previously. You can see those big up days after a bit of a fallback. But it didn't. It just gone to the top now and just starting to roll over again. I think, what's going on there? So I think we're in for a crash. Let's be honest. Most cryptos need to fall by 95% to make them anywhere near sort of a good value. Most of them aren't, aren't they? I keep likening it.
I'm not so sure because of the fact that we talked about last week. The and I flagged it up a few weeks ago. The Ethereum against Bitcoin chart, ETH BTC, and how I flagged up weeks ago that it looked like it was starting to break out from an enormous sort of several years of Ethereum underperforming against Bitcoin, and that the chart had sort of formed a bottom and turned around, and it looked like Ethereum was about to overperform compared to Bitcoin. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. The chart broke out and it's just headed straight upwards, as has Ethereum. So this could be the fabled flippening starting to occur. The flippening is something people have talked about in the crypto community for years. It's the fabled moment when Ethereum or another cryptocurrency takes over as the leader from Bitcoin. And at the moment, Ethereum is heading just very, very strongly in that direction. While, as you quite rightly point out, Bitcoin is not going up or down. It's just kind of fluctuating in the same range that it's been in since February.
Could this
be it? Could this be an important moment?
I'm looking on Coinmarkets. The dominance of BTC is 42.9% against ETH 18.8% there. So
it's still got a long way to go to catch up with Bitcoin.
If you think about it, if direct funds are going directly from one to the other, then probably not, because they'll meet in the middle, won't they? So you've got another sort of 15% up for Ethereum, 15% down for Bitcoin. And that's it, pretty much, because the difference is only, Well, 20%. Yeah, 20, so 10% up, 10% down, pretty much.
Unless Dogecoin catches up first.
Yeah, so Ethereum pretty much has to go 12% up, Bitcoin has to go 12% down, and then pretty much that's it. They're equal. You know? That's not a lot.
Level pegging.
That's not a lot in
That's
crypto world. In crypto world,
no, I suppose it could happen today. that's how fast things move in crypto world. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Are you in anything, or are you out of anything? What are you doing?
I'm in and out.
Dirty trader. How about a conviction there?
I've been in Ethereum for a while now, and I love it because it goes up and up and up and up. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I said I was going to trade that ETH BTC thing. I would have liked a way to kind of trade it directly, just ETH against BTC. You can do that if you use leverage, but if you're just literally buying cryptocurrencies, you have to buy the actual thing. So I was just buying Ethereum, and I was in two minds. Should I short BTC at the same time as I go long Ethereum? Because that would be the proper way of trading ETH BTC. But I decided against shorting Bitcoin because I'm just not sure it's going to go down. It's in that halfway house stage. So I just bought Ethereum instead, and obviously that's turned out pretty well.
Yeah. What annoyed me is I did buy Ethereum on that dip. That big dip that happened a while back, that big sell-off.
Oh, yeah.
And then it rolled a little bit there, and I thought, I don't know what's going on here. It's just too high. I looked at the chart of Ethereum and thought, that's nuts. That's nuts, the chart. So I thought, I can't buy up here. It's almost lack of oxygen. It's at high, it's fastest risen. So I just got out, and then all of a sudden it's gone back to all-time highs. So I called that one wrong. And that fallback was literally at 2,200, and now it's at 4,000. It's doubled. That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, in just a matter of days.
Considering that is what's the market cap of this of Ethereum? Literally about ridiculous clock. What is it? It's close to. Where is it? So look, Ethereum, $500 billion.
$500 billion. But then Ethereum is worth it, as we've talked about before, because it underlies so many other technologies.
No, it's not. They're all inflated prices, is it? I mean,
I don't.
Hang on.
Fundamentally, I could argue fundamentally.
I understand Ethereum's got more value than Bitcoin, probably. But
a lot.
No, I understand that. But But the thing is, as yet, none of these, of these 3,000 cryptocurrencies, most of them will not become anything, will they? Most of them will. It's like the internet boom. Most of the dot-coms didn't become anything. They were bust. So
but that doesn't matter because
I know, but when
Ethereum
that happens, it does matter. Let me finish. It does matter.
Ethereum is the protocol layer for every coin that is yet to be invented.
No, I know, but
not even the ones that are current.
I know that. You're not. Let me finish here. I know that. Right. But when you get all these companies that are based on Ethereum going bust or going through because they can't get funding, right? Then the value of the network itself also becomes a little bit impaired. Because it's only to keep rising because companies are going through. So, let's be honest, we are in that manic time, like tulip mania era of cryptocurrencies. These will come back. They do have future, of course they do. We know that. But this is now in the manic hype stage of cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
When we zoom up, we realise these need to come back a bit. They all need to come back a bit.
Yeah, but why does Ethereum need to come back a bit? If it's priced based on the future, like all good things are, like Tesla is, based on people's vague idea about how many Teslas they'll sell in 20 years' time, that's the basis of its supposedly fundamental valuation. Well, likewise, Ethereum is valued based on the potential, like what is going to be sitting up on top of Ethereum in the years to come. And the fact is that whilst a lot of the cryptocurrencies that currently exist and that sit on Ethereum will eventually die, as you say, or just not become very successful, others will be created that will probably sit on Ethereum because it's by far the main development platform, and they will become the successful ones. So I guess the point is, if you believe that the various ideas that underlie cryptocurrency, such as, the DeFi movement and so on, if you believe that those will become major industries in the future, as I probably do, believe that, then it sort of stands to reason that whatever the cryptocurrencies are that eventually end up becoming successful will probably have to sit on top of Ethereum. So Ethereum will be valuable regardless.
Yeah, but you were talking, I'm looking at the biggest companies in America right now, and Ethereum sits at number 7. And how do you earn money off Ethereum? I don't understand.
Yeah, but Tesla doesn't. Tesla's what? One of the biggest companies in America as well. And how many cars does it sell? Hardly any.
But we know that'll come down.
Hardly any.
Hang on, I'll look. How many cars did Tesla sell? Tesla's global has reached half a million, so 500,000 units in 2020. So it's not
okay,
half.
And now I'm looking at
that's not hardly
how
any.
many cars. Yes, it is. How many cars did Toyota sell?
No, I'm not comparing it, but 500,000 cars is still a lot. What's being sold in
All right,
Ethereum?
Here we go. How many cars did Toyota sell in 2020?
I know, but
10 million.
I know, but what does Ethereum sold?
500,000 compared to 10 million, and what is
hang on,
Tesla's valuation
hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I understand that. I agree with you. But 500,000 cars is still quite a lot, right? And now, what's Ethereum sold?
Ethereum is the basis, right, for the
How does it make money?
How does it make money? Cryptocurrencies trade.
How does it make money?
Tens of billions of dollars all the time.
How does it make money?
DeFi turnover. All right, let's have a look. DeFi tokens, blah, 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 increasing revenues. Top DeFi protocols generated $252 million in
wow,
revenue.
$252 million, is that all?
No, hold on. That's just revenue. Hold on. I've got more.
Revenue, that's the top line. Revenue, that is ridiculous. And so Ethereum is valued now as above Tesla, or close to Tesla. It's on level peg with Tesla, pretty much. And so that is, or Visa. Visa just makes money. Is it? No, in fact...
Hold on, that's a monthly revenue. That was monthly.
So what? It's still
monthly.
Yeah,
as in over the course
crap.
of a year, you're talking
that's
billions.
That's still nothing.
Billions, though.
So,
how much does Tesla make in revenue? Probably not even billion.
Hang on. Tesla's also a bubble, mind. I'm talking the next one down. It's more in line with Visa, right? Now, Visa is, transacts in money. And in fact, it's a very appropriate comparison right now.
Tesla, right? You remember I just said Tesla sold 500,000 cars and Toyota sold 10 million cars in the same time period, in the same year.
Tesla's a bubble.
Hold on. Tesla's
same as Ethereum's a bubble.
Is now worth more than Ford.
You're not listening to my argument.
BMW. Wait. Ford, Honda, BMW, GM, General Motors, Daimler, Volkswagen, and Toyota's market caps combined.
Yeah.
It's worth more than all the other car companies combined.
Yeah.
Even though it only sells 500,000 cars.
It's a bubble.
So, all right, yes, it's a bubble, but
and that will pop along with cryptocurrencies, because him being such an advocate of cryptocurrencies will see that Tesla will pop and cryptocurrencies will pop at the same time. And then you come back to some normal valuations. Then you can build fundamentally from there. But right now, we are in bubble territory. And I don't know how long it goes on for, because bubbles can be very stretchy and flexible. They can keep going up bigger. You blow a balloon, you go, oh, it's big. Then you blow a few more, oh, it's even bigger. Oh, it's going to pop. And you keep going up with that. And then all of a sudden, it will pop. It will pop. And I didn't say I told you so, but it will pop. I mean, this is a ridiculous valuation. You're talking about companies, like I said, it's a picture of a dog. It's worth 70 billion. What? That's close to AstraZeneca, the most valuable company on the FTSE 100.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
So I'm saying Tesla, yeah, you're right, it's overvalued. Yeah, absolutely.
But my point was that, like Ethereum, Tesla, and in fact, pretty much every company in the S&P 500 is valued based on the future, not on the present.
I know, but that's very hard to value future.
People believe that Tesla is going to, sell more cars than all the other companies in the world combined. And you can't rule that out as a possibility. Tesla's cars are very nice. And they're obviously based on the technology of the future, so it's not impossible. It really could dominate the future car market, and that's what people are betting on, effectively. Likewise with Ethereum, its price is extremely high. Why? Because it seems actually very likely, far more likely than Tesla taking over the car industry, as far as I'm concerned. Ethereum is very likely to be the base layer for a huge number of industries in the future. So that's why. I mean, look, But like you say, the price could still come down tons because, of course, when you're discounting a future that doesn't exist yet, then the price is extremely variable. And likewise, Ethereum could, it could halve again. Who knows? Or it could double. Lord knows. Only the Lord knows.
Yeah. No, I just think it's a bit crazy. Well, so anyway, part of me thinks the next rally up, I'm not going to go to cash and everything. Because I don't know how much contagion will happen when it pops.
Why the next rally up? You see, this is always the problem with trying to guess tops.
No, because I'm not. Look at this.
This is why I'm a trend
follower. Let me finish then. Let me finish. No, you're a dirty trader. You're not a trend follower. You're a dirty trader. Let me say one thing. Let me say one thing. Right?
Go on. Say one thing.
The reason why I would next leg up, because the companies I hold, I don't see as overvalued compared to well, in fact, they're not overvalued on their own. But I mean, I'm looking at the crypto market, and I think it's absolutely insane in the membrane. And because it's there and it's still rallying now and again, people are just thinking, no, it's worth it. It's the value of this future. That's the future. That's how do you price the future? It's not worth that. And when we come to realise that, because the next thing will come along, for example, what's that quantum, computing? Break all the cryptos, whatever. I mean, there's always a new thing coming along. You can't, human innovation. You can't discount human innovation. It will happen. The next thing will come along, and then all of a sudden people go, hang on a sec, crypto isn't a thing. And so
this is like the internet. Remember, it's not going away. It's a clever idea that is not going away anytime soon. I mean, sure, eventually the internet will be obsolete. Something will have taken over from it. Something we can't even imagine. Books and magazines. Yeah. They're going to make a comeback, and also pages. We need more pages instead of these stupid mobile phones.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Glenn, there go, because we talked enough rubbish, okay. And you're a dirty trader, and you believe the crypto bubble is not a bubble.
I think most of it is. It's just Ethereum is just the potential. Blows my mind, man.
No, I know.
It blows my mind.
The potential is big. I know, but already, based on its valuations, it's a little bit crazy. Where does it go from there? I don't know.
Well, as a trend follower, I follow the trend, and it continues to go up.
Follow the trend of the podcast.
Like you said, Bitcoin has made what might end up being a top pattern, whereas Ethereum hasn't. Ethereum's just makes higher highs and higher highs and higher highs and higher lows the whole time.
Listen, following the trend of our weekly podcast, let's try and finish at 11 o'clock, shall we? Oh, hang on, we're 2 minutes over, and someone is actually tweeting me saying, I'm standing by. So, Glenn.
Oh, are they? They're standing by?
Yeah, on that trend.
I hope they're very important, more important than me.
Oh, yeah, that's what that worked out.
All right.
Get back to dirty trading. Right, lovely, Glenn. Speak to you next week.
See you then.
You don't see me, it's audio.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for the top 5 most followed companies on Vox Markets in the last 24 hours. They are at 5. Guild Esports up 3.5% to 7.3. At 4, Amigo Holdings down 22%, 23 pence. At 3, Agronomics down 30% at 25.25. At 2, Shield Therapeutics up 2.9% to 53 pence. And at 1, Quantum Blockchain Technologies down 2%, 2.25. Okay, it's time for the top 5 most read RNSs. They are as follows. Mosman Oil and Gas Holdings, also there, Infrastrata, pretty much on the same level, pegging their contract award. At 4, Bahamas Petroleum, extension of open offer timetable. At 3, Physiomics contract award. At 2, Agronomics proposed fundraise to raise 50 million. Wow, that's a long way off from where I started talking about them. And at 1, Amiga Holdings, scheme update, creditor voting, and FCA letter. That's it for the podcast. Thanks for listening. Muchos appreciate.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.